This episode is sponsored by United Refrigeration and Westermeyer Industries, revolutionizing your HVACR experience. Visit URI.com for all your HVACR needs, offering real-time inventory, personalized pricing, and a nearby stock feature. Access quick pick replacement parts and branch details effortlessly. With 350 plus fully stocked locations across North America, our knowledgeable staff are ready to assist with the solutions you need. Exclusive offer. Use code ARPOD on URI.com to get a $10 gift card when purchasing the Westermeyer oil float, part number W4300-38F. These high-performance floats are not just compatible with their own oil separators, but also available as a crossover model, conveniently stocked at United Refrigeration. That's code ARPOD to claim your $10 gift card. Visit URI.com now.
The Sporlan division of Parker Hannifin proudly sponsors the Advanced Refrigeration Podcast. The Sporlan S3C series of case control products provides safety, security, and service for remote and self-contained refrigerated display appliances. The S3C family of controls includes a case controller, display module, and a valve module that all support open protocol communication via BACnet and Modbus. The peer-to-peer system is capable of standalone or coordinated control of up to 8 refrigerated cases per lineup. Using this family of controls simplifies and shortens the time required to set up new equipment or retrofit an existing system. Ask your local refrigeration wholesaler about the Sporlan S3C series. Parker Sporlan, leading the charge.
Not fun.
I'll do it for you.
No, don't do that. Nope.
I got you.
Nope. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Advanced Refrigeration Podcast. You're their host, Brett Wetzel and Kevin Compass. What's going on, buddy?
Just got done driving home for 6 hours for no damn reason because these electricians at this job, oh my God, this opened like 78 windows on my computer.
You just got a virus?
No, I clicked on something and it just literally opened like 10 of them.
Yeah, I know. I know. Was it hotblondes.com? You said you keep like perusing that website.
No, it was just delayed. I just got done driving 6 hours there and back to Normal, Illinois, to a Sam's Club to start up some cases that we've been waiting on. But these are the worst electricians I've ever dealt with in my entire life.
Before you continue saying
that, I say that every time, but they get worse and worse. These guys are horrible. It literally takes them 2 days to wire one island. It's insane. I don't know what they do. There's 7 of them. And I show up there today. All they had to do was wire up some existing produce cases. And they went from a system on a rack to a loop. Uh-huh. So they had to run wires back to the rack, and that's it. And somehow there was another guy there to explain this to them. Mm-hmm. And everything was good. They explained it, and they said they understood. Mm-hmm. That was not the general consensus because they didn't understand because they just they intercepted the wires in the ceiling is what they kept saying. I'm like, okay, those were the fan wires and the light wires. Yeah, no, and the refrigeration too. I'm like, this to be a waste of time. Yeah, they didn't intercept the refrigeration wires because they didn't leave the rack. Because the old EPR was at the rack, and they needed to tie onto those wires.
So they should have had to bring it up from the rack all the way back to the new island then.
Yeah, and then there was 2 systems on that same loop that are on CC200 controllers that I go to show up on. It's promising because there's no power, and these new wireless cases where they have no power wires. So there's
listen, Tesla. He was working on a way to transmit high voltage through the air. And maybe, just maybe, that's what the electricians thought.
Yeah, they're like half-ass piped and no wire pulled through the pipe. So this is just great. But in the interim, I got to sit there and rewire all the cases because at this point, they just none of them come out right anymore. So I'm to the point where I'm so frustrated with it. Just leave all the wires loose at the bottom because it takes less time just to wire it right the first time than figure out why everything's wired wrong. And it's the same like things over and over again. Like these cases, every time the EPR and the EEV are swapped, or they don't strip the wires and just shove the wires in terminal blocks. I've had this on 7 Husband cases now. So they just shove the wires in terminal blocks, nothing stripped. Or they'll strip 3 of them and 1 won't be stripped. So
maybe that's how they're supposed to be wired up.
Yeah. It's been an ongoing issue, or like just cables aren't ran. Like I've ran through all of my EEV cables, like all the M12 connector ones. I probably had 15 of them in my van. In the last 2 weeks, I've ran through all of them.
What do you mean, the Wagos?
Like the M12 connector cables, like for the they're just not sending them out.
Maybe there's a shortage.
I don't know. You buy the valve with the cable, it's where all the cable's going. So this has become like an issue. Like I thank God I had 15 of them.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm empty. Like I've ran through all the cables.
You have 15 of those on your truck.
Yeah, because like how many times you get a valve and swap out the guts and you don't put the cable in, especially if it's already an M12 cable, you don't need to. Right. I always throw the cable in there and forget about it and turn into a pile of them. Yeah. Thank God I had them because like this keeps happening. So like a thing to watch out for is like making sure that you're starting these CC200s up, that the valve actually moves and you actually physically go in the CC200 and force it to move up and down with your hand on it, because I don't know how many of these I found the EEPR and the EEV switched. Doesn't matter the manufacturer, they switch. And make sure that they're assigned to the right thing, because generally the EEPR is on the expansion module.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that it's assigned correctly in the CC200. So that's been a huge issue. I don't know how many of these cases that I've gone to where other companies have started them up and guys aren't checking every single sensor and everything, and they're wrong. Or we've had the transistors come out where they're supposed to be 650s and they're actually 500s and they're tagged wrong. So I found 2 more of those today.
Damn.
So there's still quite a few out there.
See, I haven't yet actually programmed the one I have, right? Because
I can't either, because Brent still hasn't sent me the screen. So that was like 6 months ago?
When I was back at NASRC, I actually said something to him. I was like, "Hey, he's waiting for his display." It's like, "Yeah, I'm getting it."
I said something to him when I was with him for a week and a half. But yeah, but yeah, that's been a huge issue that we've been running into. So that's just one thing to keep in mind when you're doing these, is you have to use Duster and go through all the sensors, or else you're going to be busting up compressors.
That's the thing. The fact that we have to actually do that with the case controllers. Like when we wired everything back to the rack, when it was going to all the inputs and outputs or a remote defrost panel, I can understand this. That's 75, 100, 200 feet, 250 feet worth of wire. But the fact that it's 8 feet away, 8 feet worth of wire.
Dude, it's every time though. It's
today
I go to the first case, I look at it, I'm like, orange sensor on the green sensor on the blue sensor on the orange.
Maybe he's like your EMS guy and he's colorblind.
The colorblind EMS guy can land the sensors on the right one.
Can he really?
Yeah. Everything's gray, light gray, and dark gray.
Oh man, I love that.
But at the same time, I'm getting real tired of the 30-foot of cable in the bottom of these. Did I open up a panel today? Legitimately 20-foot of cable just bunched up inside the kick rail and just zip tied. I'm like, you guys couldn't cut this shit back and make it look presentable.
Here's the thing, though. If they were to do that, okay, would you be more mad if they put the sensor in the wrong position and then you didn't have that cable?
No, because I would just replace it because the sensor's cheap. At that point, where you just move the sensor on the board, and then the orange sensor is now the discharge air. I don't really care, but like at that point, okay, leave 2 feet. You don't need to leave 20 feet shoved in the bottom of the case. That was me.
Okay.
Jesus. You don't need to leave 20 feet shoved in the bottom of the case. That's insane. And it makes it impossible to work on down there. And trying to fix anything, it's the quality control is just slid downhill.
So, all right. So I've never asked this question. I don't want to because I don't want to know the answer, but I do. I'm assuming that the controls get installed. It's not like they ship them from manufacturer to somewhere else. This is being done at whoever is the producer of the case then probably.
Yeah. Yep.
That's silly.
Yep. And these KE2s, when they're coming out, I already got on Kaiser about this, but they change whoever's doing their programming changes the password and doesn't follow the guide and change the password back. It's not like it's hard, but damn, is it annoying having to go in there and reset every password.
It's just something else you have to do, right?
Yeah, it's frustrating. And if you don't know in the beginning, it took me forever to figure it out in the beginning until I found the guide that Dylan sent on how to go in there and reset the password. It's insane. It's out of control. It has been for the last 2 weeks, every single case I've worked on, I've had to rewire.
I don't know what to say. I got nothing. I got nothing for that.
It's insane. It's just everything comes out wired wrong.
No, just like he said to you the other week. I wonder if this is the way Kevin is.
It's this morning. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be quick. I'm going to be in and out in an hour and a half, 2 hours, start up these 3 glycol cases and get out of here. So, okay, the lights don't work in this one. And it's like Wagos just undone. Okay, the lights don't work in this one. Oh, that's cool. These are all wired back DC backwards. So all the lights that they somehow flipped the negative and positive and all the lights wouldn't turn on. So I had to figure out which had the negative and positive flipped. It took me like 30 minutes to rip apart all the lights. So I figured out which one was flipped. And lo and behold, now they're all on.
I don't know. I don't get it. Like all these issues that you're rattling off, I've seen training that does this, that goes through everything. I was looking for this while you were rattling off stuff. But look here. Look at that. Shows you exactly how it's supposed to be wired up. Exactly. Even shows you the EPRs on the expansion module.
Where's that manual at?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I've honestly never seen that.
Really?
No.
I got some things.
I've honestly never seen that. Everything I know about the CC200 I learned from just screwing around.
Stop screwing around. Yeah. Goes through.
I got to say, like that in the microthermal case controllers are by far my favorite.
Oh, I meant to tell you, I think I'm going to Quebec.
Oh, must be nice.
What do you mean? You want to go to Quebec?
I don't ever get any training. I just got to teach myself on microthermal.
Let's go to Quebec. I'll figure out when I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. The CC200 is super nice. I just wish they would make it a little bit more tunable. Like you could adjust the PIDs in it, but it's not as easily tunable as the microthermal controllers.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
Like the microthermal controllers, you can grab your base value from the valve and set that, and then it doesn't want to allow the PID to go above that or a certain range. So like you have a base value and a multiplier. So say your base value is 10 and your multiplier is 2. So it won't let it go more than 2 times the base value.
Oh, okay. So that's maximum operating percentage then, basically,
correct.
Right?
It sets a maximum operating percentage, and then it allows the PID to operate only in that range. So if you're limiting the valve from 0 to 40%, because it's all it needs, and it's a much tighter PID between 0 to 40 than if you let a valve go to 0 to 100 when you don't need it.
Yeah, if
that's what all these other controllers are missing when they're doing their PID calculations. It's just it cuts down on the hunting so much. You're able to like just grab your base value and then just tune these valves out so much easier.
Are you sure that CC? I thought they said that when they were going through it. You could do maximum operating percentage.
You could do a maximum operating percentage, but like it isn't set up to do base value like microthermal is. You can't set it up where you have a base, say a 20% times 1.5 to give you 35% open max. So your average range is going to be around 20%. Your max range is going to be 35%.
It doesn't like reconfigure after a bit. No, really. You talk to Canadian.
It would just give you your max. So if you put your max at 50, the valve PID or the valve percentage will never go over 50%. Which it in a sense is doing the same thing, but not really.
Oh, you're saying we're essentially like in microthermals, it's anticipating that 0 to 20% would be 0 to 100% then. So it's slowing down the PID because you have a smaller bridge range. Right?
Yes, you have a smaller range where it's going to operate in. So it's a lot easier to tune a valve in at that point. So but the CC200 is definitely growing on me. Like I like the app out of all of them. Their app is super functional.
Do you have more range in the when it's connected to the E2 or whatever, or the E3? Like maybe that setting, well, because maybe that's some description file that allows you.
No, it's the same. Their integration with the E3 is nice. I don't like that it could be set up differently from whoever sets it up on the screen, though.
What do you mean?
Meaning like what on the tile.
Okay.
So like one store that Copeland Guy A programmed is different than Copeland Guy B, like for the tile, at least for what it shows on the case controller. For the data.
Oh, but that's what you get for having so much of a configurable range, right? It's like having a flexible combiner, right? You program one, I program one. They're all
going to be different.
Yeah, but they're going to be different.
Yeah, there's some of that stuff. It's difficult. But once you learn to navigate around in it, like it's growing on me. The E3 is definitely growing on me. I used the E2 the other day and I wanted to punch it. It's like I hate the touchscreen on the E3, but like at the same time, like I now like backwards troubleshooting stuff is just so much harder on the E2 now because I'm so used to being able to click. I've been doing the E3 for the last 6 weeks, and I'm so used to being able to click on the hyperlinks for everything to go backwards. And now it's like now the E2 you got to go back and then into it and then back out of it and then back into it. It's like clicking on the hyperlinks is so much faster, but I could program on the E2.
You know what? K2 needs to step on it and get instead of having to deal with all the routers. I actually talked to someone the other day. We were talking about it and I started bullshit. I don't even know where this guy was from, but we were talking and he was like, yeah, we had to buy the routers. We had to buy the routers in order to bridge them up because it basically alleviated a whole bunch of the issues that they were having.
See, I don't understand this because they have an in and out Ethernet cable. They're using the one for the case display.
Oh, so technically, oh, but maybe it's just for the display. No, it's just for the display.
Yeah, but it's got to be configurable. Like, and the display needs to be RS-45 or something else, and there needs to be an in and out Ethernet cable, like an SC3 or a CC200. Like it's insane to need all those wires.
I see what you're saying. So like, there's auxiliary board terminal there at the bottom.
Yep.
And you could essentially just make that what it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Today's episode is sponsored by the RefRushield RDP Series differential pressure monitors from Westermeyer Industries, now available for transcritical CO2 systems in addition to other common pressures and refrigerants. When the filter element of your coalescing oil separator is contaminated, it can hurt your system's performance and efficiency. But how do you know when it's time to replace that filter? Wait too long to replace, and you could end up with a nasty filter blowout. But replacing too often can be a waste of time and money. The answer is installing a differential pressure monitor. The RDP Series differential pressure monitors, including the new transcritical CO2 model, are available now from Westermeyer Industries. To find out more information, email sales@westermeyerin.com. That's WESTERMEYERIN.com.
Yeah, like that should be off the auxiliary board, and then the in and out Ethernet should be linking all the cases. It should be RS-485 to the first one, and then Ethernet to all the other ones.
They have a blocked off port too, where it actually looks like you can weld on or solder on another Ethernet cable. It's blocked out there. So like you have the potential to have 3, one for the display, one for the in, one for the out. But then could we sell you a router?
Yeah, but this is one more thing in the case. Okay, where's the router? Okay, did the dickhead EMS guy or electrician that did this mark where the router was? Probably not. Is the router going to get wet? Probably.
Is it going to cause comm issues? Probably.
Yeah. Is that going to be 6 more shitty Ethernet cable ends? Yeah.
Probably.
Like, I'm starting to get good at it. Like, I've done a ton now. Like, I feel way more comfortable troubleshooting Ethernet stuff. Like, it's not going anywhere. Everybody else is BACnet over IP. So, like, it's staying. So, you better figure out how to troubleshoot Ethernet cables.
Wow.
I mean,
the thing, the plug, the Klein thing.
Yeah.
It's really not. What else is there?
That's it, basically. Like, the Ethernet cable tester, like I bought a cheap one off there and that's it. And then now I've been playing with the oscilloscope for comm issues.
Yeah.
But obviously you're not going to do that with that. But now doing the ping test, that was pretty cool. With Chris from Copeland was showing me that. Running the IP ping test on my computer, I was able to see which controllers were having the issues. So which ones were getting packet losses?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
So I was plugged into the first CC200, the one that only had the one Ethernet cable going on it. So I plugged into that one, and then I had a range of all the IP addresses. Every CC200 in the store has an IP address assigned to it. What I did there is took all the IP addresses, put it in this program on my laptop. They had me download, put the range of IP addresses in there, and it starts a test where it starts pinging data from your computer to the CC200s and pinging them back, pinging them forward, pinging them back. And it's doing a test. And at the end of the test, it gives you percentages of packet losses and how many packet losses each address does. Well, if the list, each address is going to have its own name attached. So let's say 10.10.10.1 is A1A. We'll say that one's got 75 packet losses. And in between there's 100 packet losses to the next one. That there's a problem between A1A and A1B. Like
were you just using the command prop?
No. So there's a program. I'll have to look at my laptop and see what it is. But there's a program on there that he had me download. It was free. It was like an IP tester. And you could test a range of IPs. And then you take that data and it spits out a report, and you could sit there and look at it and be like, okay, my comm problem is probably between this case and this case, and I could see pretty much what controller it was.
Was it IP checker?
It was IP ping, I think, or so. It may have been IP checker.
It just has the letter I. Here, let me just. I just want to.
It was a really sketchy looking website. Like it definitely looked. He's like it looks like you're gonna get some.
All right, hold on. This one.
He goes. It looks like you're gonna get some viruses from it, but you're not. It's a legit website. So that's just showing your IP address.
No, I know. What I was gonna do is hook up to this case controller that I have here and just show an example. But
yeah, so like it literally gave me all my packet losses and it ran a test for however long you wanted it. Like this one was like 20 minutes. It ran the test and we watched it. So you can get that list of all the IP addresses from Copeland if they have it, or you could make it. So what I've started doing is when we start the cases, I've been writing down the IP addresses inside of notes on my phone. Like A1A is 10.15.20.30. A1B is 10.15.30.1. So that way we could sit there and we have all this information. So if we have to do it, we could just drop it in there and test them all.
Damn, I'm not going to be able to find this thing. Ping test tool.
Maybe.
Well, I'm not going to download anything unless you tell me because I don't want her to catch anything.
But the other thing that was cool is you could use that for SC3s too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same thing. Same IP addresses. They have IP addresses too. So if you have that range of IP addresses, you could figure out which IP addresses are your issues. So like troubleshooting like comm issues on SC3s, dude, that tool is like awesome. But it's only on a laptop.
I wonder if you could potentially use a 45, not like you have BACnet or BACnet over IP. I'm sorry. Yep. I'm wondering if you could test the 45 line and then see which controller is jacking up if you hooked up directly to the 45 line and just use a 45 the USB converter.
Maybe.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like take the old Comtrol converter where it takes the USB over. Yeah. And then hook it up to that line, to the 45 line, and just test the whole freaking run. Because if you think about it, if like okay, then crappy. It could be like the S3C. Like what I used to do is just look on the comm loop to see which one's failing out. Know where the comm loop is ran via the prints. If it's following, yeah, okay. I'm just saying. Usually, I could get the prints. I'm resourceful. But anyway, so then you
think they followed those? That's so cute.
Dude, every single one I did, except for like 6. Just saying.
But so we've used Yabe. Like I've used yet another BACnet Explorer, Yabe. Like you could hook up to an SC3 and pull all the data. Same thing with CC200 with a USB to RS485 connector. You could hook up to the SC3. You could see all the data too. You could see the points. Like you could see everything.
What did you call it? Yabe?
It's called Yabe. Yet
another BACnet Explorer.
Ricky Quick showed me this.
Are you kidding me?
Seriously, like he showed me. You could see everything on the controllers. Like it literally backdoors you into them, but you can't really change anything without you need a password. But you are into the back architecture of the SC3. And it's the same thing with the CC200 because it's BACnet. And the other one is like Modbus poll. You could see all the Modbus stuff and see all the points and what data you're picking up on there. But Yabe's like a great tool for looking at integration stuff. If you're trying to figure out what a particular device has for points, you can scan it and see the points and see what they call the points. So like I've done it with stuff where I can't get into like Train, for example, where I can't get in because they want some ridiculous expensive license. I'll use Yabe. Yeah, I'll use Yabe to see what the inputs and outputs are doing.
Get the hell out.
Yeah.
YABE.
Yeah. Yet another BACnet Explorer.
Maybe I'll just search it that way because I'm just getting like awful things.
But it's like a super useful tool. And I just use a like $20 RS485 to USB converter that I got off Amazon. The same one, it's the same one you use for the CoreSense stuff for Copeland. If you use the standalone CoreSense software.
It's just the cable?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
It's got like a little dongle on the end of it.
Yeah. No, no, the one I have doesn't have a dongle.
It's just a USB. It's like a little extension on the USB, and then it has a wire coming off of it with an orange and yellow wire and a ground wire. Like that's the only. Like Copeland sells that cable.
Yeah, I don't think Yabe is not coming up. I put
yet another BACnet Explorer.
I put it in. I'm getting Symmetrics, BACnet browser, ass.com.
Ricky would find that.
I was going to say something else. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to walk over there. Just 1 second.
Well, I found it.
Holy shit. I have a Milwaukee pack-out bag that's just filled with cables and such.
Hey, do you see my screen?
Oh yeah, share it. Hold on. Add to stage. What the? Seriously?
Yeah, it's on SourceForge, but yeah, it's yet another BACnet Explorer.
Source SOURCEFORGE.
It also has I think it has maybe a scope in it.
Yeah,
I
send me that link, because apparently whatever the hell I'm using, because the only thing that keeps coming up is it's because I'm using Bing. Bing's dumb. Oh, it's because I wasn't using Google. Holy, Microsoft can't figure anything out yet. Another, sorry.
Yeah, like it. I think it's a great tool for that stuff. I haven't really messed around with it too much besides like looking at stuff, but it looks like it has a scope in it too.
No, I see that.
No, like that cable, like I got the one from the Copeland one, but I bought other guys that cable from Amazon. It's like $20. You can buy it. It's a USB to RS-485 connector, and it'll come with a couple different wires in there. You got to kind of mess around with it a little bit to figure out what wires you need. Usually, it's the orange and yellow from most of the ones I've seen, but it works out great.
I wonder if see, now you're an asshole, because now I'm going to be doing this tonight. I'm just going to be like, now I have something else to play with. My God. Do I throw away the Comtrol stuff? Do I finally
No, I actually had to do some with that the other day, and I'm like, hammer fits it. I still have 2 more RMCCs to convert.
So I have this one, which already has my Comtrol shit on, but then I have another spare one.
See, that works good for RMCCs too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I have 2 of them.
Because that's USB to RS-232.
Yeah.
We're going USB to RS-485.
No, I know. I'm looking for it. Do I even have the old? Oh, holy shit! Look at this.
I'm pretty sure the Bitzer one works.
This freaking thing.
Yeah.
40.
I'm pretty sure the Bitzer one is USB to RS-485.
Oh, I got one of them.
So you could use that.
Okay.
So you could change, if you go into properties in your computer, you could change the under COM ports, you could change the speed if you need to. That's the only thing I've had to do, is because some stuff is 19.2 and some stuff is 9600 and some stuff's 3800. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Really?
38.4. Like most of the Novar stuff is.
It's literally a Milwaukee pack-out bag. There's so much shit in this bag.
Yeah, I've lost like half my stuff. So, the hell is that?
It's a Danfoss power supply. I had to do something with a drive, and I needed 24 volts.
Oh yeah, that's safety. Safety department would greatly appreciate of your Widowmaker over there.
It wasn't a Widowmaker. It's all terminated, except for the ground.
Yeah, except for the ground, the Widowmaker.
What do you need ground for?
But Modbus Pole is another good one to have if you're doing anything like that. Like, I don't do any integrations because I don't know how to do any of that. But because that's a pretty much a Copeland or. Why do you have
that bag? I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't even ask anymore.
Like, my computer bag's as light as I can get. Like, I have a couple converters in there and that's it. Like, I try to keep that light.
So do I, but I'm old, so.
Well, yeah, like you probably got Hey Dudes on right now.
Oh, I forgot I had this. Did you ever see one of these?
What is that?
It's a bipolar stepper, but it's for the unipolar motors. For like the little 6-lead, little 5-lead motor.
Never even seen one.
I never worked in any VAV, VRF, anything like that.
Well, no, because like we don't do any VRF stuff. Coming, but like
I got this one.
Yeah, that one works.
Okay.
So that one actually has terminals in there where you could wire it in. You could wire in because I'm missing half the terminals.
No, I'm not sending you. Why would I send you that?
This is the one for the Verispeed. I went to go do one the other day. I was like, I'm missing the Ethernet to phone cord adapter. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. No, if anyone doesn't have this, they need to, because there's some stuff like see, I don't know which one this goes to, because there's a telephone one to a 4 and then a telephone one to a thicker 4.
That's for those new modules for the IAQs.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I forget which. So I've used.
Some of the screws take those random weird ones.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
I need the USB the phone cord to Ethernet one. I'm like, damn it, I lost this one. It's probably stuck in a compressor somewhere.
Oh, okay, I see it. Oh yeah, phone cord. You can make your own.
I know, but like at the time I didn't have it. Like that's for those damn Verispeed compressors that are like the.
Which ones? There's 2 different gens in there.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, there is.
They both do the same thing.
What's that?
They both do the same thing.
I know, but one's the one that's one big metal can on the inside, and then the other one's it almost looks like an IQ module. It's the same color as this guy right here.
Are we going to talk about your fan motors for the 700th time? Let's go.
I'm not going to talk about my fan motors.
Come on, let's do it. Let's talk about your fan motors. We got 15 minutes left, so you can go on your fan motor diatribe.
Not talking about my fan motors.
Do it.
Not talking about my fan motors. You can talk shit. I'm not talking about my fan motors now.
Oh my God, you're so sensitive.
You prick. No, I was going to bring up something else, and now I forgot because now you got me thinking about fan motors, jerk. I'm done. I have no idea what I was going to say. I'm looking deep into this. What is this?
Great. Now your ADHD is taking over, and now you're just going to be rifling through your office looking for a cord that you.
You know what? I just cleaned this office too. What I was looking for was the soldering iron. I was looking for the cable for the core sense modules.
A cable.
Well, if I could have found it, I would have showed
you. You talk about it's the same cable. It's a USB to RS-45.
Yeah, but mine just has rogue wires sticking out the end of it.
Yeah, that's what they all do.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Well, that one's a nice one to get because you can get that on Amazon. It's just a random converter. Here, I'll find it right now. It's just a random converter.
So if that's the case, all right. So I'm looking at these 2 different converters, and so both of these are RS 422 to 485 adapter. So then those would work. Then these are the Comtrol ones.
Is that 232 and 45?
No, no. The 232 would be the entering end. They have the lightning cable on the one side. So they're configurable, isolated RS 422 to 485 converter. So I could probably use these for what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll show you. Let me share my screen. This is what I have.
I'm waiting to share.
And my daughter's coming in to steal all the printer paper.
Stop stealing printer paper.
You're making okay. Thank you, Kenzie. All right. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, that's the one I got.
Yeah, this is what I have.
Okay. So
it's $25 on Amazon, and generally it's the yellow and orange wires for it.
Yes, I have mine hooked up. I already have mine hooked up to. If I had it, if I could find it.
It works for the CoreSense. It works for SC3 controllers. You can pull stuff off of. It works for CC200s. Anything that's RS-45, and whether they're doing BACnet. If you're doing Modbus, obviously you have to look at what pole it is, but Modbus pole works. And you can see some. I've never really messed with Modbus pole too much because I really haven't had an ish thing too. But BACnet Explorer works pretty good for stuff.
Modbus pole. So I finally found your yet another BACnet Explorer.
Yeah.
Modbus pole, Modbus tools.
If you're writing integrations, this is like a lot more stuff. I'm just using it to troubleshoot SC3 stuff and like CC200 stuff. It's just one more tool to do that with all this stuff. And to be honest, I've been messing around with this scope, or not the scope, oscilloscope. I mean, for $30, it was $100. Like, you can't beat this thing.
So I got one similar. I mean, like, that's actually what was in this bag. Oh no, that's the.
So I've been trying to mess around with it and watch. I have it hooked to an E2, and I'm trying to watch the sine wave to see what a normal E2 looks like when it's talking. Like, you could see the signs like going up and down on the different channels because it's a 2-channel scope. So I'm looking at the positive and negative to ground, and you could see that when it's talking. So I'm just trying to figure out what a baseline, what it looks like when it's good, what it looks like when it's bad.
Run it right next to something high voltage and see what it does.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to. I want to see what it looks like because I bought it for lawn stuff for microthermal because we're always getting blamed for this cabling issue, and whether it's equipment issues where we're picking up noise, like it's impossible sometimes to avoid with MT. It's just lawn, and that's just the nature of the beast. But I want to be able to troubleshoot this a little bit better and know if it's maybe a board issue that we're picking up noise on a board, and I want it. And then I want to be able to see it for valves and stuff, so you can see that sine wave when that stepper motor is opening.
So they have this thing too. I wanted to show you this. I don't know if you have one of these. This is the local access thing for ketotherm. And so you could actually plug the Ethernet right in here and then have access to it. Or the other option,
the little shitty router that like the little TP Link one we use. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Probably.
It's just a TP Link router that we use for everything.
Essentially, yes. And then, but it actually came with this, which is the USB to, I'm assuming, whatever it talks. Because you have A, B, ground, and VCC. If you just have the wiring hooked up, you could actually use this, and essentially you could probably use your Modbus, or your yet another BACnet Explorer on that. Yeah, I can't find that cable at all. Not at all. I don't know where it went. I'm gonna blame Greg. Greg probably has it. So
Greg probably has it. Yeah, stop it.
Damn kids.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening. Have a nice one.
See you guys.